Good afternoon, folks. Welcome back to another episode of the At Cause podcast. My name is Kevin Kukar. I'm here with
Nelson Anderson,
the founder of Full Sail Media. We're excited to be back talking with you guys today. Today, we're talking about acquisitions.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait to talk about this, Kev.
This is a very interesting topic. This is something I knew nothing about before coming to Full Sail Media, so I'm excited to have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
Tell me what makes an acquisition part of the secret sauce of success for Full Sail Media.
Yeah. So it was the secret sauce for growth. It's just part of our strategy, right? Like we have to sell, we have to take care of our customers really well so they come back and tell other people. But if you want to grow quickly, scale, acquisitions has got to be part of one of the tools in the toolbox. Mm-hmm. It's not the only one, but it's one of them. And it has been since I've been in business. We did several of them in printing, and all of them have proven to be a success. One of the guys that I follow, he wasn't the person that gave me the idea to do acquisitions, but certainly has helped refine the acquisition process for us, is Roland Frazier from Digital Marketer. Mm-hmm. I follow his stuff. I've met Roland. And great dude, and he talks about $0 out-of-pocket acquisition strategy. But more so than that is he talks about the percentages of businesses that fail and succeed. And we all know what the percentages of businesses that are startups, right?
Right.
What's the percentage? What do you think the percentage is for new businesses that start from nothing, the failure rate?
That make it their first year, or that make it, how long are we talking about?
Let's do 5 years. Let's do 5 years.
I would bet it's under 20%.
Yeah. So it's like 5%.
Wow.
that succeed.
Right.
So 95% failure rate.
That's amazing.
So what's crazy, even crazier than that, is if you do an acquisition, the failure rate is the exact opposite.
Oh.
So if you were looking to buy a business and you do an acquisition, the success rate is 95%.
Wow.
And we've seen that. We haven't had one fail since we've been doing it.
What do you attribute that to in terms of changing the numbers? What is it about an acquisition that changes the numbers so dramatically?
Yeah. So I think that there's a couple key ingredients that have to go into the acquisition. So we look at acquisitions for three different reasons. Is I want to do an acquisition to gain more or fill capacity of something that I'm doing already, right?
Got it.
So if we are, looking at more press work, and we can't fill a shift fast enough, we can look at an acquisition in order to do that. Mm-hmm. So that's one area. Second area where we've probably done the most of is expertise, right? So they are doing something that we don't do or don't have the expertise to do. So
Got it.
We expanded that 2 times in mailing. So direct mail is finding people that are, that's all they do, or further down the track, or don't offer all the services that we offer. So it's been a really great marriage in those cases because, they are bringing customers to the table that we can then sell them all of our other products and services.
Got it.
So they're ripe individuals for all of our other products and services. So the third reason that we do them is for talent. So we all know how hard it is to find talent these days, and we've found that picking up an acquisition strictly for talent has been an incredible way to fill positions. And I would say that every acquisition that we've done, we've kept just about 100% of the employees of the merger acquisition that we've done.
That's very cool. I mean, it tells me a lot about the why behind an acquisition. How do you find a candidate for acquisition when you start looking? Do you look specifically to do you look specifically like to find talent? Do you look specifically to find a company that is looking to be acquired?
Yeah.
What is it that you look for?
So I think that's one of the reasons why I like it is it's relationship building, right? But I've done it many different ways. So we've done it through direct mail, actually just sending open letters to businesses that fit the demographic that we're looking to acquire. Like
Wow.
if we're looking to expand our sign services, like
Sure.
we're in the middle of 2 acquisitions right now.
Right.
And you actually just joined me with a conversation with
Right.
with an acquisition for marketing services, and that went great. But that came through a relationship,
Right.
much different from the other one that we're working on. It came from direct mail, and so what you'll find is they go at a different pace, right? The one that we acquired through direct mail is we had to form a relationship.
Sure.
And so it's like literally 50 first dates, right?
Right. Okay.
But that's the what I would consider the greatest part of it is for the most part, it's somebody looking to retire, right? I've had very few of these happen where the business is failing, or they're running out of time or anything along those lines. It's usually a succession plan. We're in this weird moment of baby boomers looking to retire, and
Sure.
and so many of their kids don't want to take over.
Right.
So we're going to see an immense amount of businesses transition and change hands over the next 5 to 8 years. There was a statistic out there. I don't exactly remember it, but it was a very large number of businesses that'll look to trade over the next 5 to 7 years. And so what comes from that is a relationship with somebody new. So I never look at it as like, some of these you'll invest some significant amount of time learning about the company, learning about the person, and they just don't work out.
Right.
But you do learn a ton about how they got started, their origin story, and their struggles, their wins.
Yeah.
And so that's what I think is one of the most special parts about it, because I love that stuff. How did you get here, right?
Yeah, I mean, tell me more about that, like the dance that you go through when you found a candidate for acquisition, and there's a reason for it. Either it's a talent or it's one of the other things that you talked about, one of the niches that it fills. What is the dance like when you start actually talking about acquisition?
Yeah, it's super awkward. Like,
Okay.
it is definitely your freshman high school dance.
Got
Like,
it.
you don't know where to put your hands, and and you don't know how warm they are to the idea, right? And we do them in a very specific manner in the terms of earnout. So a lot of people don't know what that means and don't understand it. So it's a long process to explain to them how that actually happens. It's not anything new or secret. It's
Right.
just, a lot of these people have never thought about selling their business, and they get a letter in the mail saying, "Hey, you want to sell your business?" And they're like, "Well, actually, yeah, I am kind of tired
Right.
of this."
Plants a seed.
Yeah, totally. So it's super. It's just it all. It'll go really well because you're talking about getting personally connected and you're trading personal stories. And then the brass tacks comes. Well, so tell me about what you want to do, right? Tell me about the next steps. And it's just from my position is trying to make that conversation as uncomfortable as it can be, because it's, you're talking about money, you're talking about something that they poured their heart into for years, some cases 30, 40 years. And then you're going to go put a number to it, right? It's like, it's no fun, right? From that aspect, and but trying to make it as personable and relate to the passion that they put into the business and the effort, and explain to them that, hey, this is a market value, not what I think your business is worth,
Right.
So trying to maneuver that conversation, but it's really about getting to know them, because one of the things that make it successful, aside from making sure that it's the right fit for your organization, whether it fits in one of those three buckets of
Right.
Expanded capacity, having the new people, and or having a new idea, right, of how to do it. The specialization, sorry. But it's making sure that like you fit culturally, right? So
Right.
those are the three buckets that it fits in, but it's never going to work if you and the other owner can't have dinner together.
Right. Absolutely.
Right?
If you don't
If
want to
we-
have a beer with them.
Right. If you can't sit down and have a beer or do dinner and put up with each other
Right.
for 3 hours, I mean, that's what the first conversation takes. And I always laugh because if the first conversation is an hour,
Right. It's not a good sign.
It's not a good sign.
Not a
right?
good sign.
Exactly right. But if we can put up with each other for 3 hours and find it like, I got to go, but I want to talk about this more.
Right.
It's usually like, we're going to come to an agreement.
Sure.
Right. So yeah.
Tell me, like, the impact you think that acquisitions have had on Full Sail, that without them, it might not, like, the result might not have been there. What has it done for growth?
Right. Well, it's part of our growth strategy. So I would say that it has enabled us to hit our growth numbers. Right. I think without it, it would be really hard, especially in print, direct mail. That is the market share is just continuing to go down and down
Right.
and down. So, not that it's not effective. It's just in some, it's just not being purchased as much, right?
Right.
And so trying to find new business in that arena, it's an old industry,
Sure.
right? So trying to find new opportunities is difficult. So we're finding those new opportunities by acquiring somebody that holds the relationship.
Got
right?
it.
So it's been able to keep that growing, right? And if we service the hell out of them, then they're not going to go anywhere, because that's the reason why they were with their other printer.
Sure.
Right? It's because they got serviced, right? So making sure that you're committed to that customer service is very important. Now, I would say that for the marketing side of our business, it is it's the new talent. It's the new technician, the new specialist that we're going to bring in to help us expand our capabilities, right? And offer more to our clients. So I'm super excited about that and seeing how that impacts Full Sail Media.
Along that vein, or in that vein, tell me some advice that you would give yourself if you were starting the acquisition process from your very first one, or something that you wish that you were told or knew about the process that you maybe didn't have early on.
Right. So I would say I got 3 pieces of advice, and that's a great question, Kevin.
Anytime.
Yeah. So I would say the first one is always be looking for them.
Okay.
So I will find that my well runneth dry often.
Got it.
So if you make it part of your regular routine, it will pay off dividends, so that you always have somebody that you're talking to about it. So that's number one. I
Right.
wish somebody said, hey, always be doing it, even if you're really not looking, because then you create a persona about yourself that you are an investor and that you're buying businesses. So then
Got it.
people will then reach out to you, right? So that's number one. Number two would be, don't overpay.
That's succinct.
There's no other way that I can say that. Most of all the deals that I've done have been earnouts, and that's how the majority of these acquisitions are going these days. Not saying that there isn't some money up front for assets, equipment, so on and so forth, but for the most part, they are done on future sales.
Got it.
Not cash up front. And it's really expensive to do cash up front.
Right.
So, earnout is the way to go. And the third piece of advice is have the candid conversation. I would say that I felt really awkward reaching out to somebody to talk to them about this. And every time that I pushed through those feelings and those emotions, that even if it came through as they're not interested, the other party was always super flattered that you even asked about their business and wanting to acquire them. So I would say push through those emotions and ask the hard question, and you'll be rewarded either way, because you're going to form a deeper relationship with that other company, and you might acquire them.
Rock on.
So
Thanks for that answer.
yeah, man.
Well, this has been an awesome conversation. Thanks for having it.
Hey, Kev. Good seeing you here.
Always a pleasure. Thanks, you guys, for joining us for another episode of the At Cause podcast. Today was talking about acquisitions. We'll see you on the next one.
Thanks, guys.